everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Made in Japan. As today I bring you the Acceleration of Suguri X edition, a fighter slash shoot 'em up. Quite an unusual mixture of in terms of shooters, but it actually works out very nicely. And there is another game by the same name, Suguri. Just this one adds acceleration of, so bit of a difference because there's actually more of a storyline associated with the other one. In this one, it's more of a more laid back version of it. And in which way? Well, in the story mode for this one, officially you have the standard mode where you're fighting off against a roster of 8 guys. I believe there's like a boss also. And then you also have Falling Wonder, which pits you against a antagonist from the original Suguri game. And then you have Pudding Deity, which is more of a really lighthearted storyline, where you're just fighting all the other characters for the hell of it, for some pudding of all things. And you also, with this game, besides those story modes, you also have versus, where you can play against your friend if you wanted. You can just like hook up a USB controller, a second one, and just play against your friend. Or you can do online or practice, or even against the computer if you want to sharpen your skills up a little bit. There's a replay feature, ranking, which is nice if you're competitive. Options where you can set the music volume, effects, gamepad configuration. That one is perhaps my recommended way of playing this, because I don't know, I'm not much of a keyboard person for shooters, at least. If I have to, then I will, but gamepad is also nice. Exit, which is very self-explanatory. Then you also have extras, which surprisingly enough, this game actually has its own secrets. In the day and age of DLC, surprisingly game developers actually think about secrets still, which is very comforting. But if you beat the game mode with different characters, then you unlock their little storylines here that you can read up on, which is pretty cool. And this is for Suguri, the main character. And you have like, it's that nostalgic feeling again. Oh, could this be the feeling of awakening? Well, it's possible, but you'd have to get the game and try it yourself so you can read up the whole thing, because I'm pretty sure you can spend a couple minutes reading it. And besides unlocked character storylines, there's also unlockable characters, which is very surprising too, given it's the day and age of DLC, where game companies will charge you for extra characters, but God forbid you try and do like certain conditions to unlock them. But yeah, to go on to the roster of characters, I don't care what difficulty is, I just want to show off the characters. So you have the main protagonist, Suguri, who is pretty much the savior of the world. She revived planet Earth after it was at the brink of death, essentially. So she's a very good person. And all 8 of these characters host their own movesets, different strategies for every one, and it's actually really addicting trying to play out every one, figuring out what they do and which character works well for you in terms of bringing the most devastation as fast as possible. So you have Suguri, the main protagonist, and you have Suguri P, which is included on the PC version. I don't think it is for the PS3. And essentially the difference is being that Suguri P has a couple other movesets. And then the rest of the cast are actually antagonists from the previous game, Suguri. So you have Hime, Kyoko, Kae, Nanako, Iru, and Saki. And you'll face these guys a lot also in the story modes here, which is just inevitable. But you also did come face to face with these guys in the previous game. This one actually being a little bit easier, I think. But yeah, and so that's pretty much the host of characters that you get in this game. To elaborate further, I guess we can go into how the story, well, we actually did the story. So We can actually go into this controls, I guess. So let's get into a fight, why not? So, getting into our first fight here, it's not as bad as you would think. It's kind of easy to get into. You have two attacks for the most part, one being the little laser attack that she has, and you have a secondary one which shoots missiles at the opponent. Now there are light and heavy attacks such as you would see in fighting games, so this little simple laser gun would can be charged up and shoot more powerful beams at your opponent. And for this missile attack, if you hold down, you shoot more missiles, and in a more linear fashion too, right towards your enemy, rather than the other attack, which kind of just spreads out. Then you have this special little hyper dodge move, which makes it a lot easier to dodge attacks, and it's very useful, especially in the case against Saki here, because she has a pretty devastating energy ball attack that could do quite some damage to you if you're not expecting it, especially. And then your best friend during these kind of encounters is the special attack. It ignores all enemy defenses, so it deals the most damage if you manage to land it. Sometimes you can miss, and it's just really devastating if that's the case. And also, as you see in the middle there, this is timed, so you have like 99 seconds, I believe, just like you would in all fighting games. And on the upper left, you'll notice like the little gauge that's filled up and it has a 1. That determines if you can do a shield, bring up your shield I should say, or you can do a special attack. Just like you would find with, I guess Street Fighter with the little special attacks. But these special attacks essentially are the main way to finish off your opponent ASAP. But you also have the win condition of just timing out like a wuss and winning that way. I fight to protect everyone. So you have those little snappy sayings that the characters have at the end of every round. Very useless, but it could be better, I guess. And then they give you some stats such as armor, time bonus, max attack, and total score. So the ranking, it goes from D, C, B, A, and S. If you get D or C, then you should feel bad about yourself, like I am right now. And anything higher, it's not too bad. And essentially, that's pretty much the battle system here. So to conclude this video, for the most part, it is a very unique game, at least to me it is, because it's not every day you run into a shooter, shoot 'em up, shooter, shmup, I don't know, it depends on how you want to classify this, but it's not every day that you get to see a blend of fighting and shooters combined into one unique game. I mean, this is the first I've seen of it, and it's really interesting. And I'm sure it's a lot more fun if you can actually get a friend to play this with you, especially if they love shooters. This would be right up your guys' alleys. So I would definitely recommend this for anyone who's a fan. If you want to pick this up, surprisingly, you can go to Amazon.com and pick up this title for $5.99, I believe it's going for. And if you want to get the original Suguri, it's also available for $5.99. If you go to ricedigital.co.uk, you can buy this game for actually you can buy the whole thing, Suguri and the acceleration of Suguri X edition, for £6.49. How that translates into other currencies, I'm not exactly sure, but you know, just to make sure I have all my facts straight, I will include all that information in the description below, such as links to these sites and where you can how much they go for. So I thank you everybody for watching this, and I will see you next time. Sayonara. Now enjoy the music.